I've cracked the code on all your favorite dips and sauces from your favorite fast food restaurants, and I'm here to share the secrets. These are the exact copies of the recipes, so here we go. The 5 recipes I'm showing happen to be the perfect accompaniment to chicken. However, if you love this episode and you want more burger sauces and beyond, let me know. First one I'm bringing to you, everybody's gotta know how to make this one. I think people think they have this sauce figured out. It's just a simple combination of mayonnaise, honey mustard, and barbecue sauce, but I've gone a bit further, and my research has been a little bit more thorough. Instead of mayonnaise, what I have learned is the base is their coleslaw base. Okay, so now we kind of also have the coleslaw dressing. So we start with that, and then we mix in the barbecue and mustard. When you look at the ingredients, there is no honey in here. So it's not honey mustard. She's smart. Okay, so we're gonna start by making the coleslaw dressing, which to me is the greatest hack because they took away their coleslaw, and that was a sad day. So you're getting a 2-for-1 special here because you are learning how to make the coleslaw dressing in addition to the Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm starting with a cup of mayonnaise. To that, a 1/4 teaspoon of dried mustard, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of sugar. Sugar's the second ingredient. And then 4 teaspoons of white vinegar. Okay, give that a mix. And this is the base for the Chick-fil-A sauce. And it's just a classic coleslaw dressing. Okay, so now you take a 1/2 cup of the mayonnaise mixture. Then barbecue sauce is the next ingredient. You wanna choose a barbecue sauce that has hickory as a flavor ingredient in there. And then 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard, not honey mustard. Let's make Chick-fil-A sauce. If it's not it, it's damn close. Let's do a side by side. Here is Chick-fil-A sauce, and here is our sauce. Theirs is a little darker in color, but it's probably because of whatever barbecue sauce they use, might be a little different. Let me just do another side by side just to see. Ours might be better. Enough said. On to the next. Everyone needs and wants a good ranch recipe, and hands down the most requested is Wingstop Ranch. Let me give it a taste. Just kidding. Everyone knows restaurant ranch is far superior to anything you get off a shelf or in the refrigerator section. I've looked up all Copycat recipes, and I've seen videos of people actually working in Wingstop making their ranch. And from what I see, it's only 3 ingredients: mayonnaise, buttermilk, whole milk buttermilk, and the good old classic Hidden Valley ranch packet. But the science comes when you're talking about proportions. How much buttermilk and mayonnaise? You know, it's not just following the instructions on the packet. The other variable is what kind of mayonnaise they use. In the videos I've seen from the restaurant, it has their own private label, so I can't be guaranteed that they use Duke's. I'm not fully convinced, though, that there's not a little sour cream in that. That's the only thing that I do differently when I make mine at home, is I put a little sour cream in there. But the buttermilk should kind of have that sour note compared to just regular milk. People like to order this whole cup. It's over $5. With tax, it's about $6. We can make a vat for that. And then I'm going in with the buttermilk and then mixing our dressing. I tried making this with the restaurant style dressing packet. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same like flecks. This has flecks, big flecks. That has little flecks. Going in with 2 packets. If you were following the instructions just on the packet, you would have 2 cups of mayonnaise and 2 cups of buttermilk in there. I'm starting with 1 cup of mayonnaise and 1.5 cups of buttermilk, and we'll see where we're at. So there's some more flecks. It's pretty solid. I just need to sit for a minute. I might need a little more buttermilk. Okay, definitely more of a 2-to-1 ratio buttermilk to mayonnaise. But look at this, y'all, this is like a carbon copy. Now, I do think the flavors come together as it sits a little more. So I think the true test is letting it sit at least an hour or 2 before you do a side-by-side, but you're gonna be happy with this ranch. This right here is the secret recipe to Wingstop Ranch. You definitely want at least 2 parts buttermilk to 1 part mayonnaise to get the consistency and that tangy flavor. The Wingstop version is like a smidgen sweeter, but I think that's because of the mayonnaise. This might be the one and only time I wouldn't use Duke's. Wingstop done. Which drive-thru are we hitting up next? Definitely a highly requested recipe is cane sauce. This is another one you want to get by the vat. When people eat this in their cars on TikTok videos, It just makes me want to jump through the screen when they coat their whole chicken strip in the cane sauce. I just want to eat it. The problem that I have, that you might also have, is that you don't have a Raising Cane's near you. Neither do I. So this recipe definitely comes in handy. And look, all of these, have you noticed, like, you have everything on hand to make these. So don't spend $5, $6, $7, you know, for a bottle or a cup of it at the restaurant. Then you also don't have any weird ingredients or preservatives in it. I'm going ahead and doubling this recipe because people in this office fight over it. This recipe I got from a man who claims he used to live in Mississippi. It says like this is the actual exact recipe. I didn't ask him who his sources were, but he guaranteed me this was it. And then 4 teaspoons of Worcestershire, granulated garlic. All right, salt, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and paprika. This was in the Secret Agents recipe. Okay, the final ingredient. When you get Raising Cane sauce, it is like filled with flecks of pepper. The measurement goes like this. Cover the surface with a layer of pepper, stir it, and cover it again. 2 layers of pepper. This, to me, is the best chicken dipping sauce right here. Just want to try it the right way, like they do on TikTok. It's like have a little chicken with your sauce. This one to me just has it all because it's like creamy and tangy, just like with a little kick of black pepper. It's not spicy, but it's not sweet. It's just like perfect. This next one required a little more research, but by popular demand, I had to do that for you to bring you the copycat of Mickey D's hot mustard. This one has been on the menu, off the menu, changed. We can't risk losing it. We need this recipe on hand. Don't you agree? This is the perfect one, not only for chicken or French fries, but also this would go great with any kind of chicken off the grill or pork chops, or this would even be good like spread on a burger, you know what I mean? It's that rich golden color. That's what we're trying to achieve. The texture, the shelf stability is from like preservatives and chemicals. That's the stuff we're gonna leave out. So ours has to be stored in the fridge. So what I think you're gonna find is that our consistency isn't gonna be like so thick. I'm gonna try to get it, you know, where it at least coat a nugget substantially. Again, I'm just pulling cabinet pantry staples. This is the only thing you may or may not have. So to me, this is the only thing you have to buy. Dark corn syrup, which is gonna help us get that dark color. And despite the title, hot mustard, it's really not that hot. It just has a little like kick in the back of your throat after you swallow it. It's more sweet than hot. So adding in also 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. And then obviously mustard, starting with about 5 tablespoons. A little mayonnaise to bind it together, about 1 tablespoon. Now this ingredient I do not see in the ingredients in the hot mustard, but it is in every copycat recipe I've seen. This is gonna help with the color and just kind of give it just that like hint of a good like umami saltiness. Some soy sauce, 1/2 teaspoon. And then the dried mustard. Now this stuff is pretty potent, okay? You do get a bite of mustard like in the McDonald's version. So I do think there is dried mustard in there. A couple tablespoons and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is where I debated. I think you could use just hot sauce here or you can do vinegar and cayenne. Hot sauce is only vinegar and red pepper, okay, and salt. So it's about proportions, I guess. So you might have a little control if you want to do these ingredients yourself. Otherwise, I'd just say throw in a few dashes of hot sauce. Teaspoon of vinegar and pinch of cayenne. That's 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne. I've seen people make this in the blender. I think that would be ideal if you were doubling or tripling the recipe. Color's looking pretty good, don't you think? Taste test. That was really close. I think we just nailed it. This is as close as you're gonna get to McDonald's hot mustard without all the chemicals. So you can see it is a little thinner than the McDonald's version. Here's how you can thicken it up, if you want to. 2 teaspoons of cold water and 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch. This is if you're looking for something a little more spreadable. Dissolve your cornstarch and stir it in. And then to activate it, you've got to heat it up. So you just pop this in the microwave for about 1 minute. All right, so you activate the cornstarch in the microwave and then you let it cool. So as it cools, it'll thicken up. Not too shabby. Get your little flecks of cayenne in both. Taste it with the chicken, of course. Don't forget about some of Mickey D's treasures. This is one of them. I started with Chick-fil-A and I'm gonna bring it on home with Chick-fil-A. This one is so easy that it's almost cheating. Polynesian sauce. It's sweet, it's tangy, but I found out something. I think Chick-fil-A's been gatekeeping something major here. Polynesian sauce happens to have the same ingredients as country French. I mean, they're almost identical. Can you tell which is which? I'm not even gonna tell you. You would not know if I didn't tell you. The Chick-fil-A sauce is just like a tad sweeter and a tad tangier, and it's like a tad thicker. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take French dressing, about a cup, and then add in a little more honey to make it a tad sweeter, and a little apple cider vinegar to make it a tad tangier. That did it. That did it. First try. That's how you make Polynesian sauce. I give to you the Polynesian sauce. It's almost like cheating with this one, but it's a dead ringer. We recreated 5 of your favorite fast food sauces, and I bet you didn't even know that you already had everything you needed on hand, for the most part. I'm telling you, all these recipes, 10 out of 10, they're direct copies of the originals. Give them a try. Let me know what you think. I mean, remember when being a copycat was a bad thing? Not today.